Hello and welcome to the first Love Talk of 2013. We want to wish you a happy new year. You're here with James
and Helena.
And what else could we talk about apart from New Year's resolutions, since that's what everyone is talking about, right?
But we are not going to talk about diets and how to get nice and slim.
No.
And how to stick to your diet. We're going to talk about something a lot more, deeper.
Right. We're going to talk about relationships because when you start a new relationship, the last thing you want is to carry into that relationship the bad experiences of the past. You don't want that. It makes things more difficult.
Well, it doesn't help. We're going to help you, giving you through some tips, of course, how you can leave your past where it belongs, in the past, so you can move on and keep your new resolutions.
That's right. There's nothing more unpleasant than you being with someone new, trying to start something fresh, and you dump into that relationship the burdens of the past. So hopefully today we can help you to overcome this. In fact, we have a guest with us here today that will share her experiences and how she's hoping to have a new love life now in this brand new year. Stay with us. Welcome back, and let's go straight away talking about what you want to hear. We're going to talk about the new year, new things. And whatever happened in 2012, bad experiences in relationships, or even prior to that, you don't want to carry that with you to your future. If anything, possibly just learning from the bad experiences you've had, but people shouldn't really carry the old things of the past, right, Len?
Well, they shouldn't, but according to some comments on Facebook, which I'm going to read now, they seem to be carrying, and that's the problem. One person says, fear of being disappointed. For example, approaching someone, getting to know them, and later find out that the person, or realize that the person wasn't the right person for me. She says, I had that fear of investing my time in a relationship that at the end wasn't right for me. There's someone else who says, fear of being let down and hurt again. It's happened in a past relationship, and now I don't really want to invest in my love life because of that. So you see, fear twice.
But think about it. When you go for your driver's license and you fail your test once, you don't say, I'm not going to go for the test again. You actually go because you want to learn. So if you've been in a relationship that didn't actually work, that's how life is. In fact, I was in a relationship before meeting Elena that didn't work. And it was good that it didn't work because we met each other.
Yes.
And so were you. By the way, we have someone here with us today that's going to share her experiences. We have someone who is single and looking for love. Alzira.
A little bit shy, but...
I'm fine, thank you.
Hiya.
Alzira, did you have experiences like this in the past where things didn't go according to plan, and how did they scar you at that point?
Yes, things didn't go according to the plans, and I kind of stayed a long time with fear, like of being let down as well, and just I had loads of complexes. I was thinking, no, it was me. There is something wrong with me. Then that's why the relationship didn't work. And
so your way of dealing with that was to think that the problem was with you, right?
Yes.
What did you think at that point? What was the problem in your mind with you?
Well, there was a lot of complexes. I had loads of complexes. So I thought, that person really doesn't want to be with somebody like me. So they didn't see anything good in me. So I would just, the relationship would end because I wouldn't make an effort to actually make it work either.
Right. So you carried that with you even after the relationship ended into the next year or few years. You still had that with you?
Yes, I did. That's why I didn't even tried again or even try to make it work for myself. I just didn't do that.
So you see that it's fear again. So fear is what blocks people from moving forward, from trying new things, from moving on.
In fact, that's what that person said there, right?
Yes, there's another person who wrote to us. I'm not going to mention his name because he might not want us to. Basically, he knew this person since 2009. And then after a while, they got to know each other and everything. He asked her to marry him. And she said no. So this is what he says. I fear to approach her, to talk to her, because I fear she might end up rejecting me again. It all started when I first saw her in 2009, as I said, started talking to her in 2010. I was so in a hurry that I rushed straight forward to propose to her. As a result, she completely refused me, and of course he felt really down. Well, over the last 2 years, I tried to forget her, but I still can't. So he's 27, and now it's 2012, like he says, and he's still single, and he still likes her. Please advise me on what to do.
Well, first of all, congratulations on being bold, right? Because
and persistent.
Exactly, because not many people would have taken the step that you took. Yeah. But perhaps if you still are interested in this person, if you feel that you have things in common, don't start by asking her to marry you. That's the first thing, right? Take it slow, approach her and see how it goes. If this is the person that you really are interested in, and if there's a way to make it work, then you can. But don't let what happened 2 years ago influence your life right now. That's not a good idea.
And I think that she's still single as well. So, well, my advice for you is very similar to what James said, but, you know, approach her in a different way. Not as a potential boyfriend, but as a friend. Become friends again, go out for a coffee and talk things over, you know, solve that problem that, you know, happened 2 years ago. Don't just leave the problem now, and now it's a new year now. This is not going to be positive for you. So talk to her. I would say that this year you should make sure you talk to her and clarify things, and then go from there.
Alzira,
move on.
How would it be if someone approaches you right now to ask you to marry him?
Definitely no. Because I don't know anything about the person. He doesn't know me. So the probabilities would be just a failure.
But, for example, he knew the person, but we're talking about overcoming the things of the past, right? And it's important that the person is bold to take the step. He was very bold, right? If someone was interested in you and knew you, would you want that person to be bold?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. To be bold, but to ask to go out, not to propose
straight away.
So there it is. The thing is, maybe the step is to, like Elena said, to get to know the person, maybe all over again. Maybe you have to do that.
Take it slow.
Yeah. And Elena, I mean, we're talking about overcoming fears, because most people on Facebook said that the problem with the past is being scarred by the things that happened. And maybe the thing for you to start 2013 and make it different is for you to make sure that you don't let whatever happened in the past to make you a different person, right? Like Alzira was saying, that the bad experience she had made her have complexes. Is that right, Alzira? What kind of complexes did you gain from that broken relationship?
Well, I thought that my appearance wasn't right. I thought that because I act in a different way, that was the problem. It's just so
many thoughts, isn't it?
So many little things as well.
But have you noticed that fear, like we read on Facebook, and even Alzira's experience, fear doesn't make sense. You know, everyone has gone through failure. Everyone, you know, is part of life, and it can only help you be a stronger person. But you see how fear paralyzes people.
That's right.
You know.
I mean, Alzira, you said that you came out of that relationship with complexes, but what did you find out the real problem was?
Well, basically, I just found things that were not there, like you said. It was just things that happened that I thought it was me, it was with me, instead of actually seeing the situation. So I kept holding on that, and it just carried on growing on me.
And what was the real problem? Because you said about the complexes, but when you later found out what the real problem was, that it wasn't you, what was the real problem that the relationship didn't work?
Well, it just didn't work because I didn't really, you know, I wasn't in the relationship really. I was just there to kind of fill the gap, right? To kind of have a company instead of being, you know.
Okay.
So after the break, Alzira is going to tell us about how she overcame these complexes, these problems. And we're going to give you tips as well, because it's important that people learn how to overcome the things of the past, right?
And Alzira will also tell us what it is that she is not taking with her in this, to this new year, right?
Yes.
So it's important that you learn what you can physically do in your day-to-day life to make sure that you don't let your past control your present. If you are starting a new relationship, you're hoping to start a new relationship in the new year, we want you to know and learn how you can make sure that the past is truly behind your back, okay? We're going to go into a short break. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. Get your pen and paper or your computer, your iPad, your phone, because we're going to be giving you tips on how to overcome the things of the past, right? And things you can put in practice every day. Something we forgot to speak about in the first part, Elena, is couples who can't let go of things that have happened in the past. And that can be very destructive.
That happens a lot. A lot. It's not only to single people. And that also creates fear, They don't, it's when the person is having problems in their relationship and they don't solve the problem, and it becomes it's like a snowball.
It's like the couple that says, an argument comes up and then he says, no, but last year, 2 years ago, you said this about my mom. Right?
No, that doesn't work. You have to solve the problem and move on, because otherwise you will always be miserable.
That's right.
Doesn't work.
That's it. I mean, once you solve a problem in a relationship, in a marriage, whatever it is, move on and let it go. But we want to hear now from Alzira. Alzira, how did you overcome the complexes, the scars you were left with in that relationship? What did you do to be able to move on?
Well, I met some people who could help me to overcome it. So I spoke out to them and I explained where I was feeling. And they advised me on how I could overcome it. And I actually started to learn more about myself rather than just to jump on to relationship without finding out about myself.
So first you fixed the problem.
That's it.
Right? The complexes. You understood you weren't to blame for what happened in the past.
Yes.
And do you feel ready now in 2013 to move on?
Yes, for sure.
And tell me, what is it that you don't want to carry with you, from your past experiences to this new year? What is it?
Fear, complexes, just really not taking risks, not being afraid of taking risks. As in, I can start to get to know somebody, not thinking that relationship is going to actually end in a marriage or something. Then just to get to know the person, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay. But when you said you got some help, to overcome your fears, your insecurities. But was that easy? Because people at home might say, oh, it's, easier said than done. It's very difficult to get over a bad experience, a trauma or something. But it is possible. It can be done. But how was it for you? Because I know, I'm a woman as well, I know that insecurities it's a big part of a woman's life, unfortunately. Now and again we feel insecure about something. We want to be, this perfect person, which it will never happen.
Yeah.
But what happened to you? How did you overcome your insecurities?
Well,
was it overnight?
Definitely not. It was, first of all, really hard to talk about it, because it was something shameful for me to be talking.
So you talked about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had to break myself to actually speak, and that was not easy. It took me a long time to actually bring it out.
Yeah. And when you said you spoke to people who could help you, we're not saying that you are going to go now and speak to someone down the pub. Please, right? You mean you spoke to people who could actually help, who were in a position of trust, that you could trust, and they helped you, right?
Yeah, because even the situation, it made me really closed. I wasn't about to talk to anyone or even to my friends about the situations. So it kind of blocked me from everything around me and everyone. So for me to be able to speak to that certain person about it, I had to really get the trust. I mean, the person had to get my trust.
So that was like a first step.
Yeah.
But how did you overcome that fear, like, for example, those thoughts that many women have, oh, I'm not pretty enough, or because you said you had many of those insecurities as well, or maybe it's me, maybe it's the way I look. Because, you know, many women do look after themselves, but they are full of insecurities inside. So how did you actually put in practice, you know, into practice this thing, no, I'm going to change now, I'm no longer having these insecurities in my life? What did you do?
Well, I didn't care what anyone would actually think of me, of the way I looked, of the way I am. I wanted to change myself, and that was it. That was my goal. Whatever people saw me and think, oh, like she's fat or she's not pretty, that just didn't matter at all. I concentrate on myself only.
So here's what we want you to do now. We want you to get a pen and paper, because we're going to give you 3 tips for you to move on from your past. 3 tips. Are you ready? First of all, you know, you can only do something about your present and your future. You can't do anything about your past. So whatever happened, let it go. Listen, there's no point in you holding on to that. It's just going to weigh you down. It's like trying to swim with a rucksack full of rocks on your back.
Yeah, you won't go anywhere.
You can be Michael Phelps, right? You can be the best swimmer in the world. You're going to sink. So right there, number 1, you need to understand you can't do anything about your past. So
let go of the luggage.
If the person was betrayed, Elena, let it go.
Yes. We even mentioned this before. You know, what you need to do is, in this case, is to solve the problem. How are you going to solve the problem? Just brushing the problem under the carpet, like, oh, you know, pretending it never happened? No. You need to talk to the person. If you still feel angry, you know, towards the person, I'm sure you do. I mean, it's a natural feeling. You know, talk to the person, tell them how you feel, solve the problem, let go of the luggage, and move on.
Second thing you need to do. You need to make sure that what happened to you will not happen again. And certain things you have no control over. For example, Alzira said, and someone said there on Facebook as well, that they're afraid of getting to know someone and that person ending up not being the right person for them. And you have no control over this. You can try to minimize the chances of this happening by making sure, even before you start a relationship, that this person has a lot to do with you. But even if you do that, there is no 100% sure way of making sure this is going to happen.
Of course not. Like everything in life, you need to try. And how can you do this? How can you find someone and make sure, you know, see if the person is suitable for you or not without getting hurt? How can you do that? Is going slowly. Don't just, you know, marry me, or, you know, let's move in together. You know, give it some time, get to know the person first, know where you're going. So
we hope you're writing this down. First of all, there's nothing you can do about your past, let it go. Secondly, try to make sure that doesn't happen again. And although some things you have no control over, you can always try to reduce the chances of this ever happening again. And number 3, and last one, the third and last one, this is very important. Understand that whether we are in 2013 or not, it doesn't matter, because even if you are halfway down the year and you're watching this program online, you have to understand that tomorrow is always a brand new day. So you can rewrite your history. The great thing about life is this, and I want you to remember this for the rest of your life. You can always rewrite your history. The worst person on the face of the earth can decide to change, right? So whatever happened to you, you can say, you know what, I'm going to try to be happy.
Yes.
I'm going to try to find happiness in my love life. So don't let whatever happened to you turn you into someone who doesn't believe that things can change.
Yeah, and you know, James, if we were to talk about more tips, more things, we would be here like for many hours, because there's so many things we can talk about. These are just 3 main things, but there are so many other things you can do. You know, start afresh. For example, a woman like Alzira, yeah? You know, you overcame that, you are working, you are investing in yourself. But for example, if let's say that you were still in that same position where you still felt insecure, you know, rejected and so on, what can you do now? You can invest in yourself, you can get to know yourself more. You know, isn't it?
Yes.
Get to know yourself, the things you like, you know, take some time off for yourself. Don't worry about relationships now. Maybe you need some time. It doesn't mean that because you are single, oh, someone left me or it didn't work out, I need to find someone quickly. No, you need to give give yourself time. Enjoy your life. You know, learn something new, invest in yourself. I always say that, invest in yourself, because it's so important for a woman.
Alzira, what did you do to get to know yourself better during that time that you were recovering, as it were?
Tell us.
I joined, there's other friends who actually made it work.
Right.
So I was around them and they were like an example to me.
So then I positive,
yes,
you know,
influences.
Friends, yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to, when you're going through these situations, to cling on to somebody who's going through that same situation as you. But what you have to do is actually divert yourself from that, because then it will just continue. You'll get to the next relationship, the same thing happening.
Yeah. And you know, Elena, we can learn a lot nowadays from computers. You know, when you get a computer, you buy a second-hand computer and you want to use it for yourself, the first thing you do is to wipe out the hard drive. What that does is that there will be no memory there of how that computer was used before, what was stored there before. Imagine if you could wipe out your hard drive of bad memories. That means you wouldn't have any fear of starting a new relationship. You could move on, and that's what people have to do, right?
Yeah, imagine when you don't wipe out the hard drive. What happens?
Yeah.
Now, something that people at home need to understand is this, before we finish, is that everyone has bad experiences. The person, many people, they go through a bad experience and they just close up. That's it. I am this person whom no one likes, no one wants, no one cares about. It's not true.
And Elena, you know what happens when you don't wipe out the hard drive? Let me show you what happens. This happens. You go on a first-time date, and then this happens. Oh, you know, you are so like my old girlfriend. You know?
We've seen that a lot, haven't we?
Right. You do that, and the person will run through the door and will not come back. Right?
Or subconsciously, you know, the person will be comparing the new person to the old person.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or if you're in a relationship already, in a marriage, or you're dating someone and you can't let go of the past, you know, every time that a little problem happens, then the hard drive still remembers the past, and you say, you always do this.
Yes.
That's how you are. And you're just like your mother.
Or it crashes. Right?
Yes,
and when it crashes, it's a problem, because it means that the person either gets into depression or, you know, I can only think of depression actually. The person loses complete will to live. And you know what? You deserve better.
Yeah. So go ahead, and in this year of 2013, don't be afraid to press the format button on your mental hard drive to do with your past memories. I hope you understand this term. I'm not trying to patronize you, but some people are not great with my computer stuff.
Well, I didn't understand that.
Yes. So we hope you can wipe out the bad memories from your hard drive, and that will be a lot better to start your new year. And I believe you did that, right, Alzira?
Yes.
So you're looking for Mr. Right, aren't you? She's a bit shy.
Yeah. Yeah, a relationship that will actually work. That's what I'm looking for.
But this time, if you go on your first date, you won't say to him, you look just like my ex-boyfriend.
There's no way that's going to happen, because I completely wiped it off. So.
That's good.
Well done.
So this is the idea, right? Yes. The idea of us being able to have a better 2013 is to not take 2012 with you.
And to start afresh, isn't it?
That's right. Whether you're single, married, in a relationship, whether you're a man or woman, whether you're young or not so young, it doesn't matter. The past has nothing good for us. In fact, as we said here in this program before, the only thing that lives off the past are museums. Apart from that, there's no benefit in it in our lives.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. And I would like to invite the viewers at home to visit our Facebook page. Okay, Facebook / I always say it wrong, Love Talk Show. And you can also visit our website, lovetalkshow.tv. You can also add us to your Twitter account. You can also like our page on Facebook, I forgot to say. And very important, we have an email address, which is lovelab@lovetalkshow.tv, where you can send us your questions. You can, for example, we are here to help you, and you know, this is a brand new year, so if you've got any problems dealing with past experiences, or you have questions, or you have doubts, you don't know how to deal with a certain situation, you can email us and we will do our best to help you.
That's it. So to finish, wipe out the hard drive and indeed out with the old and in with the new. Make that happen. All right, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.